I don't think cigarette butts is an indicator of whether or not of anything, really. What is like Mexico's decriminalization policy? Everybody should, yeah. The problem is not the users. The problem is the profitization and the way that it gets into the hands of organized criminals. And all of the organized criminals are funded by pharmaceutical companies that make money off of the black market. That it's no longer, if there's drugs in the street, it is happening because of the corporate interest that is making profit off of it on like a secondary market. So they're the best. It's not even a matter of opinion. If you look at the data, if you look at the amount of fentanyl deaths in places like Mexico where it's decriminalized, it's like less than 1% of what they are in Canada. Okay? And they're fentanyl, you can get fentanyl, like you can go and get it anywhere. You can get small treatable amounts of drugs. Yes, they decriminalize drugs, all drugs. Like selling drugs is illegal, but the possession of all drugs is legal. And they have seen massive amounts of pushback from outside influence because outside influence makes money off of drug addicts, which is the corporate entities. I think that is a silly way of framing it, and that this is just a whataboutism, essentially. Can you give me a specific example of a safe injection site across the street from an elementary school? I also just don't care because the issue of safety is proven in the data. It seems like what's happening here is that like you're uncomfortable with like drug use in public, and that you think that because you're uncomfortable with it, that means that everyone is going to be uncomfortable with it. Tracers? Yes, it is. What exactly do you mean by tracers? What do you mean by tracers? Yeah, send a link. It's a Substack. I'm not going to subscribe to a Substack. Is there a news article that you can show me? The main article here is something that says there is no such thing as it's Adam Zivo. Dude, okay, yeah, no, this person is deeply disingenuous and has been proven to have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. Is basically like lobbying for crackdown on safe supply because safe supply gets the profits out of the hands of the people who put the drugs on the streets, which are pharmaceutical companies. And Adam Zivo, has been published in the National Post, all of these far-right media organizations, claims to be progressive, but his work, even in this one article, he says that most of the stuff that he is talking about is anecdotal. I can't count on two hands how many people that I know who are dead from opiate use. Okay? I played on a fucking hockey team in high school where half of the people on that hockey team now are dead from opiate use. So, yeah, I know what the problem is. I think that there's a parentalistic approach to it that is deeply problematic, that just makes you have a fascistic impulse. That is, all you're going to do is end up funding the police to brutalize and kill people. And that's not a good way to approach things as far as holistic medicine and healing and a good quality of life. Because like you can still be a drug user and still have a decent enough quality of life. It doesn't make you a bad person. We live in like a very shitty, weird, cynical reality. So I completely understand why people want to use drugs. I really don't know what the fuck that even means. Drugs at the playground. No, that's not how it works. It's this mentality that creates such drug users, because it's not how it works. Start smoking cigarettes. Don't believe hard stuff is dangerous. Do coke, do fentanyl. No, when you have people who are like telling you not to do things because they're just saying that's bad, you're creating the situation where people are just going to want to do it more. It's not even an opinion. The data shows this. I've said this 3 times now. In Mexico, they have legalized small amounts of drugs, and overdoses have gone down significantly. So this idea that if you're just going to put out drugs for anybody, that you're going to get drug users at the playgrounds, No, what happens in that regard, the drug users at the playground happens because you're criminalizing it, and then the playgrounds are the places where the users, the vulnerable people, feel safe going. So that's where they go because it's the only places of refuge, right? And that's because of capitalism, and that's because of the police state and the carceral system and our criminalization of users and people with addiction. Yeah, I can. If you send me an email, I will and prompt me, I will give you stats and data on this because I know it's true. No, I'm not. I mean, it sounds like you have like you need to create a binary framework about these issues when that's just simply not how it's going to work. That's not how policy works. It's not how you get anywhere. You don't say, so you're just saying this. No, I'm saying what I'm saying. Yes, that's still binary. You're still creating like a framework where you're not allowing nuance. It doesn't matter if it's trinary. You're creating what is it? The tripartite system. That's what it is, essentially. That's not how it works. The way that it works is that you approach it depending on the conditions, based on the conditions. You don't need to impose another place's way of doing things because they are the ones who are saying this is the way we do it. You can see it as an example and then do your own way of looking at it, but you can't say that Mexico is copying Portugal at all. It's not the same. Does Portugal have a fucking cartel that basically runs parts of the country? No. So no, it's not the same. If you send me an email, I will give you an essay that has these points that I am making. This seems like, okay, I don't have much more. Portugal and Mexico. It doesn't say that they copied it anywhere here. You just said that they are making essentially the same argument, but they're not making that argument. So you can't say that they're like, oh, I'm not the one who said. You clearly just searched Portugal, Mexico, decriminalization. That's clearly what happened here. And you're just saying, I'm not the only one saying it. This is a good lesson in how to argue disingenuously. But that's what streaming and talking on the internet is for. But I'm going to get off here because I've been streaming for a long time. But I promise you, if you send me an email, I will give you an essay that has all of these points that I am making. And it will be not disingenuous and will be fact-based. I promise you.